everyone, another day, another anime review. Here at Japanese Anime Mania, or JAM, we do our best to overanalyze and pick apart the anime choices of the week. I'm your host Hunter, and let's see what's on our plate. There are some shows that just make me go wow after I finish them. I just sit there and I can't think of anything else to do because the story is just so good, the animation, everything about it was just so breathtaking and mind-blowing that I just couldn't function for a while because it was just so captivating. And that happened to me with Evangelion for a while when I was younger, and then I got introduced to Full Metal Alchemist. And yeah, as you can tell, I'm wearing the shirt here, so there we go. Thank you, Chris.
It's a good anime.
Yeah, it's good. Now, take note that I'm reviewing the 2003 version of Full Metal Alchemist. Yes, there are two versions. There is the 2003 version and the 2009 version. The reason why I'm reviewing both of them is because there is just a different story with each one. And let's just say 2003 takes place in an alternate universe. Are you ready? Let's go. Alchemy. In this world, alchemy is commonplace as anything as it has many uses from healing to warfare. It's widely used in the world, but the one major rule that people adhere by is that to never use alchemy to bring back the dead. As taboo as the rule is, doesn't stop the Elric brothers from trying the impossible to resurrect their recently deceased mom. After failing the transmutation, elder brother Edward is left without a leg, while his brother loses his entire body. Not wanting to lose two people, Edward sacrifices his arm so as to save Alphonse's soul and put it into a suit of armor. Might I mention this all happens in episode 1, and it cost Edward an arm and a leg. From there, the brothers set forth to find the legendary Philosopher's Stone, an item believed to bypass the law of equivalent exchange. Sure, you've heard it around the anime community, but if you're new here, the law states that in order to gain something of equal or lesser value must be lost in return. It's this law that drives some characters to the brink of living and the brothers closer to the truth in their country of Amestris. Now, I won't go into spoilers here, but at this point in the review, I do have to say that the timeline will shift here between the 2003 version and Brotherhood. So, if you don't want to hear what's going to really change up, I suggest just clicking right here to skip to the animation and sound section, but otherwise just keep playing along and listen to what I have to say about it. Are we good? Let's go. So about halfway through the show, we break off from the manga storyline due to the manga not being completed at the time of the original airing. Now, to some dismay of people, this new take on the series does have its merits. It showed just what exactly the studio knew what they were doing when going in, and still managed to make the story as interesting as the rest of the show instead of bogging it down with unneeded filler or boring subplots. There are many side characters such as Colonel Roy Mustang, the charismatic flame alchemist in the military, Riza Hawkeye, Roy's assistant, Scar, the Ishbalan man who survived the war and wants revenge, and Hughes. How can we forget Hughes? Now I'll go ahead and reiterate that Arakawa, the original manga creator behind FMA, wanted and encouraged Studio Bones to make a new ending for the 2003 version, as she did not want both media to have the same ending, as well as she wanted to develop the characters more within the manga. Sound-wise, we have beautifully orchestrated tracks that not only combine the hopelessness and despair felt by the characters in the show, but also the happiness and relief from relaxing with a friend or loved one. The show just knows when to tug at our heartstrings and to make us sit on the edge of our seats, and that's what makes the soundtrack so enthralling, to the point where I even bought the soundtrack at some point back in time, because I was like, I need to have this in my life. Animation-wise, as I've said before, was done by Studio Bones, who you might recognize from other action anime such as Noragami and Soul Eater. Both shows knowing how to combine action sequences as well as accurate facial emotions to capture the character's remorse or glee. The openings and endings for 2003 were some of the first ways I got into listening to more Japanese bands, or probably gateways for other people into the world of anime. Due to the character design and voice acting as well, everything is spot on. So spot on to the fact that I prefer the dub over the sub in this case. Vic Magnolia as Edward and Travis Willingham as Roy Mustang easily captured the characters' personas, and have such moved on to bigger roles and even came back to reprise their roles for Brotherhood. Full Metal Alchemist is just one of those shows that I really can't find much negative stuff for it. Sure, you could say that the ending is just bullcrap because it's not the canon ending, but the thing is though is that Studio Bones was able, like I said before, managed to make a story so captivating still, even original, and made it just wonderful to watch to the very end. Even had a movie afterwards, The Conqueror of Shambhala, which people say, oh, it's garbage, not canon, whatever, but it still worked really well because part of me wanted to see what happened in that world. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, I might do a review on it later, we'll see how this goes. Whenever someone asks me for an anime to watch, This one and 3 more are one of the top shows that I always recommend because the show is not only, filled to the brim with great animation, music, and character development, but it also has the great message of learning from your mistakes and moving on. Like I said, the Elric brothers made a horrible mistake at the beginning of the show, and from that mistake and the lessons that they go through, all the battles and turmoil from learning all of the bad history and all the characters, they learn from their mistakes and know what to do to make things right. And that's why I actually enjoyed the show. And that's why I'm giving this show a buy it. Full Metal Alchemist was licensed by Funimation, but for some reason has not been renewed by them. It just ran out this week, and that's the weird thing about it. I have no idea why. But at the moment, Full Metal Alchemist is streamable on Netflix in both subbed and dubbed, so go for it. For alternate recommendations, I mean, if you watch 2003, you want more Full Metal Alchemist, then move on to Brotherhood. Brotherhood takes 2003 as well as the manga and just combine them together into something wonderful into a 65 episode limit. Again, at the same time, Brotherhood was licensed by Funimation, but the license has run out, so it's up in the air for whoever wants it, I suppose, and it's currently streamable both subbed and dubbed on Netflix. For another ultimate recommendation, Soul Eater is one of those to pick from Studio Bones. Like I said from before, combining great action sequences and a heartwarming story makes it just enjoyable to watch all the while. Soul Eater is licensed by Funimation as well, and is streamable currently on Netflix and Hulu if you also have that program. That's it for today, and thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Here at the Dynamic Duo, Chris and I also do Let's Plays, so if you want to see some of that kind of gameplay footage like it hasn't been done before, then be sure to check us out. Links to all kinds of social media, we got our Tumblr, our Twitter, our Facebook, it's all down there in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, be truly dynamic. See ya.